Okay, that was Mob Psycho, Season 2, Episode 9. Teleportation.
Yeah. Is it bad that part of me thinks it was kind of a bad idea for Reagan to have furthered what we know not to be a lie, but the lie that Mob's family was okay? Because, like Sho said, Mob's not going to want to fight. And at that moment, before, Reagan spoke to Mob would have fought.
Well, it depends on
They might need Mob's power to be able to actually defeat Claw.
It depends on how you spell it out for him. If you had stuck with the plan and not changed a thing, then Mob would have been probably exhausted by the time they find people, but also
That's a good point.
If he learned the truth in the middle of battle, that wouldn't really help him.
No.
I think if you describe the situation a Mob is in, Claw is trying to dominate the world, mm-hmm. and because of that, he is trying to hurt your family, mm-hmm. and
This will keep happening.
Yeah.
Your family could actually be burned next time.
Yeah, then I think he would protect people.
And it's good to bring up that this season Mob has decided to not fully believe and trust everything that Reagan has taught him, and to kind of take what he's been taught and what he's learned and kind of make his own choices. He's also way more willing to use his powers and show people his powers. So the Mob of this season is much more likely to agree to save the world than the Mob of the first season.
Yeah. Were you a bit taken aback about Sho's side?
Yes. I am really loving that they did that kind of where Sho and Ritsu, at first we were like, they don't really have anything in common, but Sho is somewhat more intrigued by Ritsu than he is Mob. And now we're learning that interest is mainly because Sho probably feels similar to Ritsu in terms of the idea of growing up with someone who is so immensely strong that you almost had to walk on eggshells in order to, kind of have everything be normal and okay.
Do you think Shimazaki is related to Sho?
Is that the leader?
No, that's the teleporter.
Oh, the teleporter? No. Maybe Big Brother? I don't know. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, we have no reason to think so. But the leader is Suzuki, I believe. Do you think he is stronger than Shimazaki, the teleporter? Mm-hmm. Do you think he's really strong?
I have a feeling that in order to garner the respect of people that are at the level of the Ultimate Five, you have to be more intimidating.
Yeah.
Than them.
The Ultimate Five.
I know. Love it. The scars are like nothing. They're like, even the new scars are like, whatever. But these foreigners, I was kind of excited for this plan that the foreigner squad was going to infiltrate and take over, because that was 120 per one of them kind of thing. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, okay, I like this plan. This is fun.
Joseph.
And then they just immediately, they would have beat the scars. They would have been fine. But it's this new 5 that we didn't even know existed. This even higher echelon than the scars. The ultimates.
So do you think Joseph is going to join up with us?
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, it would be awesome to have just more kind of... I mean, it's it should be the Espers that want to dominate, and then the Espers that just want to live their normal lives and protect people. That's kind of where the line is.
Yeah.
And so I feel like anyone who doesn't want to take over the world should just, climb on over to the other side. Teru will definitely welcome them with Master Reagan would welcome them with open arms.
I want to see Teru win a fight this season.
A
big fight.
I didn't feel like he would, but I wanted him to win so bad there.
Yeah.
But this guy, this is intimidating. Okay, let's break down what this guy can do. He can teleport even inside someone's barrier because he's so fast. He probably got there before Teru even put the barrier up.
Yeah.
And his skin is bulletproof. And he can't see, but he can predict all movements. Like, how do you beat that guy?
I don't know. Maybe he actually, like, sees through his, like, psychic aura.
He that's probably how he sees, is because he has psychic powers. His mind sees it.
I think that any anime character that has the ability to teleport easily has the potential to be one of the coldest and most badass characters in the entire show.
The design is good too.
Yeah.
It's all good right now.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of like character
It's scary
creation.
how good it is.
It is.
I'm like, oh my god.
I know,
so
I want to
cool.
be like love him so much, but then I'm like, oh wait, villain.
Yeah. Like, he's like really cool.
I
And
know.
like, I'm upset about how cool
I wish he
is.
was on the good side.
Mm-hmm.
But, you
Like,
know, would that make him cool?
In a
Probably
lesser
not.
degree, Mirio Togata can kind of teleport, right? And that's one of the reasons he's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, Teru might have lost, but what do we know about Teru? He's constantly taking what he's seeing other espers do
Very
and
true.
learning how to do it. So
He's very good at that.
he just learned how to do that barrier thing. And, like, yes, it got shattered into a bazillion pieces, and it was 3 layers, so it was obviously really difficult for him to build. But, you know...
He also has, like, the pyrokinesis. And
yeah, he has potential to learn anything. Mob can make cars fly.
Well, talking about potential to learn anything, Mob seemingly has the potential to make anything.
He doesn't even need
needs.
to learn it.
He
doesn't
like
even need to, like, practice.
It comes out of necessity. Like, he's never really needed to
It's
do
like,
too much, but
oh.
every time he does, it happened just here. Like the sonar, he needed to find his family, so he created a moveset that would let that happen.
It's just like, he doesn't need to learn or practice. It's just like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to somehow do this.
Yeah.
Boom, do it. It's crazy.
So cool. I'm glad that we figured out, like, right away-ish, kinda, that his parents and family were okay.
Am I glad about that? I don't know. I kind of could have lived for a little bit longer with Reagan and Dimple being like, ooh, he's gonna hate us if he knows that we lied.
I do like the inclusion that Ritsu's gonna be in the fight with Sho, though.
I do too, but I almost feel like, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I almost feel like I could have gone an episode fully believing that Dimple and Reagan were like, shoot, we might have lied to him. And then finding out. But I feel like a lot is going to happen. Like, everything's going to be really fast-paced going forward.
Yeah. I don't want to say that, like, Teru doesn't win, because obviously 9 times out of 10 he is winning in the, like, fights that we, like he's overpowers
really
somebody. Yeah, and he waterboards people.
Really
Great.
good at torture and getting answers he needs.
And, like, he does win, so I want to appreciate that. I just meant in the sense of, like, it's not really his character too, but like to just like go head on with like an opponent who is really strong, and you see like how much effort he has to put in, but then win. I don't think that would fit into his character the way that they're using him, but
what's good is I feel like he's not the type of character that'll get defeated by this.
Yeah, I think he'll just.
But I also feel like he'll be realistic. And I think it's always good. There's always sometimes those cocky characters who, even if they were beat, they might lead other people into battle with false confidence. I feel like Teru is going to be like, okay, this is what I learned from my fight. Here's all the information, everyone, about what this guy can do.
Yeah.
He's going to be tough.
He is really cool looking. That's why I'm so scared.
Great design. I'm so glad to have Sho and Ritsu as like a pair. It's like, because we loved when Teru and Mob became like an Esper friend pair, and I'm really excited. I also like the dynamic of like son versus father.
Me too. I want to see what drove Sho, if anything, to like be so against his father.
Well, when we first met Sho, wasn't there like the talk of his powers being like created, or him being a part of the experiments or something?
But he talked to his father okay on the phone, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there isn't animosity or resentment there.
Because of it?
If Claw is basically possibly torturing people into becoming stronger espers, and you are the leader of Claw, you would want your kid to be the top of the top out of all of them.
Yeah.
And you would go to any length, maybe even if you're a villain, to get them there.
That's a good point.
And then your kid is also terrified of you probably, and also probably wants to beat you or be stronger than you.
I am wondering if we're ever going to get the return of the anti-psychic weapons, because they seem to be on our side now. Like the creators, like whether it's the like sleep spray or the room that we had trapped Ritsu and Teru and Mob in, the anti-psychic room.
But that's the thing. Those things were things that we could possibly maybe start to overcome. So if there are people that are even stronger than that, espers that are now in the ultimate 5 of Claw.
We weren't able to overcome it.
Well, the like spray at first, right? When Mob was able to put up a barrier and stuff.
But like the room.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're creating a power difference possibility between the ultimate 5 and who we have, you know?
I'm just trying to think of ways that we can get out of this without killing people. And if we could imprison them in some psychic prison cell, then we would not have to kill them.
Why do I feel like it just has to be Mob? Like, in the power scaling of this show, I still feel like Mob is the only, especially after this fight we just saw with Teru.
I think Sho has a good... I think
Sho and Mob.
Yeah, and...
Everyone else is
maybe
just gonna...
Ritsu. And Reagan.
They have like, what, 600 people, they said? Well... Those 600 people, I doubt, highly doubt, are as strong as someone who would be a Scar or an Ultimate. So our Scars that are on our side now could definitely take out some of those people. But those upper echelon Ultimate and then inevitably Sho's father, who do we have other than Sho and Mob that could possibly...
I do have a pretty good prediction. It's a little out there, but I think that it has a decent chance of happening.
Okay.
Our backs are going to be against the wall at some point coming up in the next few episodes. Not just like one of our characters, but every character. I'm thinking back to when in Naruto characters were in the original series, seemingly all of these different people were, their backs were against the wall, all about to be killed or beaten. And out of nowhere, someone comes in to rescue them. So I'm thinking that Mob, Ritsu, Teru, Reagan, everybody's back is up against the wall. And then in the last second, Jodo and Shinra come out. And like they're like here, and Jodo especially is here to make amends with Reagan. And he's like gonna take down the enemy with them. Even if it's just like a little distraction. I want Shinra and Jodo to come out of the woodworks.
Maybe Shinra, but like my faith in Jodo not just peeing his pants right now is very small.
It's not bad to pee your pants.
It's what you do after you pee your pants.
It's what you do after the pants are peed that makes you the man that you are.
My faith in Shinra is that he might pee his pants, but he's gonna keep running. He's not even gonna change pants. He's just gonna he's gonna go.
That's just the kind of person
But like,
he is.
I don't have that faith in Jodo. Maybe because I don't like him.
I don't like him either, but I don't know.
You know, maybe what we have to do is we need to like create some urban legends.
Oh yeah.
Or get some urban legends on our side. You know, get the dragger out and like team up.
I like that. One thing that I don't think I talked about last episode's discussion, because like obviously
we were scarred and scared, yes.
No pun intended. And I think that I love what they do with Onigawara in this show. I think that he could have so easily, without any loss of quality to the show, been thrown to the side. And it's just the inclusion of him makes everything better.
The side characters all have their role for pushing forward the narrative, all with the focus on Mob and his furthering.
Like at first in the show, I was worried that we were getting introduced to so many different characters because there was no like relationship to follow, like specific with a side character. But I see how intentional that was to let us know how much Mob changes and how he's gaining friends, you know?
Mm-hmm. And are starting to see Tsubomi, like season 1, we only ever saw Mob looking at Tsubomi. And how did we start season 2? Literally going back, showing us what they showed us at the end of season 1, showing it again at the beginning of season 2, which was Mob looking at Tsubomi. And since then, when we see Tsubomi, it's her looking at Mob.
Yeah.
And I think that has me really excited that it makes sense to me in terms of if you're pushing some type of narrative, like, of course, she would start to be looking at him and it be more noticeable for us, the viewer, that she's paying attention to him when she notices that he's changing. She could have been bored as a kid that he was constantly trying to impress her. She could have not liked that he was always wanting to make other people happy.
Yeah.
She could have been bored by it. I mean, I would probably be bored by it.
But now that it's like he's just doing stuff for himself.
She's probably really proud of him.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's always kept an eye on him, wondering if he'll always be like that.
I mean, we saw her reaction to how he treated Emmy, I think, in episode 1 of season 2. It's like she was like, okay, way to go, Mob, you know?
And we know now from the past 2 episodes that she's thinking.
Yeah.
We know that she's thinking.
What I'd give to be inside Subomi's brain.
I want to know everything she's thinking.
Yeah. You good?
She is not just a passive side character that has nothing to do with the narrative other than Mob having a crush on her.
Well, no, I agree. I think that, I don't know why, but that part of me is like, so it's one of the things that I'm most interested in the show, what they're going to do with her, because she feels so different than any like love interest side character, airhead kind of like potential character, you know, that I've seen before in shows. And she's having like this subtle development-ish, but we don't really know her to begin with, really. We saw Ritsu's like opinion on her.
Yeah. If they did make it where she was in fact a love interest in the end, I think they're making the right steps at the moment to make me feel okay with that and to make me happy about that. And to not just feel like she's only into Mob because Mob's this or that. We know she's not. She stopped like hanging out with Mob all the time because she was bored by the psychic tricks.
We want Tsubomi to like Mob for the same reason Mob is liking Mob.
And she probably didn't like him because he didn't like himself.
Yeah. That's what I'm choosing to
I know, and
with.
That's why I'm like, it could be satisfying if now you actually were making the steps towards them being an actual relationship.
I wonder how that would, I guess, like, end, you know, like what thing would happen eventually with them. What is this leading up to?
What would be satisfying to me if it was just like the very end, the battlefield, you know, all of Claw like strewn out on the battlefield, defeated, and Tsubomi's just like shows up and she's like, smooth, Mob, and then goes blushy face and then the show ends.
I could see it.
Yeah, that's what I'd want.
Do you want Emmy to come back?
I think Emmy had her purpose.
I kind of want to read Emmy's story in like with the inclusion of a psychic kid.
I think her part in this story ended. I feel like everyone else kind of has a place for being reoccurring for a reason, either because they're a part of something that hasn't ended yet, or they are just in a place that Mob is constantly at. And I feel like Emmy, who was already very far removed from Mob's life and his school life, had her place, and she had a really good chapter book ending, which was her being like, I should write a book about a character like that.
I'm so excited. I feel like the rest of the season is going to be this.
Exciting?
No, like this storyline.
Oh, yeah, no, this is definitely the big, big storyline.
It's exciting.
Honestly, it opens up the question of, is this storyline so big that it won't be finished by the end of the season?
That's a really good question, because it part of me is like, okay, if it ends this season, then like, they're just going to start a new thing for season 3?
Yeah, because Claw has been the overarching villain since season 1.
Yeah.
The big bad. And I feel like you would, if you're going to do anything new with season 3, you would have to also be ensuring that there's going to be a season 4.
That's a good point. So I don't know. It's Mob Psycho, though. They do what they want.
And we're going to enjoy it, whatever they choose to do.
You good?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
And she's like, smooth, Mob. And she's like, smooth, Mob. And she's like, smooth, Mom.
And she's like, smooth, Mom.